I apologize. Part 2, or take 2 of this damn video because I was rudely interrupted by my mother. Um, I can't win. So it's like no matter what I do, I get bitched at. So like you would realize I'm a grown adult. I don't need to be bitched at. So anyway, this is about NASCAR. Let me get back to what I was saying. I was 15 minutes into this, or 20 minutes in, and I got really interrupted, and I have to start this whole thing over. So, quickly update. Cup Series changes, moves with new drivers. Rookie Series, whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. I got my nails done. Once again, boom, boom. Black as like my soul and my heart. So, as you can tell, I like black. I need to color my hair again. It's looking yucky. I look like hot garbage today, so it's okay. Story of my life. But anyway, moving on. Quickly recapping what I did in my first attempt. Christopher Bell moving to the 95 in the Cup Series to Levine Family Racing, La Di Da, rookie class of 2020. Chris Buescher has been in the series since 2016. He is part of the rookie class with Ryan Blaney, Chase, and yeah, basically. Back to back. No, he's not back to back. Won the Xfinity Championship in 2015. Will be driving the 37. No, he'll be driving the 17. That's what I thought. He moved from JTG to Roush. So, there we go. Custer moving up from the Xfinity Series as well, from the 00 from Stuart Hobbs Racing to the 41, which was pretty occupied by Suarez, which was a waste of time because he sucked, and let's move on. Custer was part of the Big Three in the Xfinity Series with Bell and Reddick. So, and he had one of his better seasons. He had 9 wins within that series after 3 seasons. So, he'll be part of the rookie class this coming season. Hopefully he runs better than Suarez. I'm pretty sure he will. De Benedetto is taking over 21. Wood Brothers car previously occupied by Paul Menard, who retired after this past season, who spent, I don't know how long, I don't even know. He spent a long ass time in the series and only got 1 win out of it. So, I'm not totally a fan of Matt's, but personality-wise, he's okay. But hopefully, he has a decent. People act like he's gonna win a bunch of races, but realize 21 has not been competitive since, or has their last win was Pocono, 2017, where Blaney beat Harvick for his first Cup Series win. So, there's that. I'm doing like Paul Menard, I already discussed. It's hard to get anything done this house when people yell all the time. We have a new puppy, so that's why. Jonathan Nemechek joined the rookie class this year, the Cup Series. I'm going to be driving the number 38 car for Front Row Motorsports, previously occupied by David Reagan, who has retired just like Paul Menard. He previously filled in for Matt Tifft, who's having health problems, so he had to step away from racing while he gets his health in order. We all know about his brain surgery that he's had and the comeback he made. I think he's a pretty good driver. We'll see what his future holds, but I keep praying for him because whatever he has, it's no joke, and he needs to focus on that. Health is more important than anything else right now. So, what is my thing? I don't even know what's going on. So, Don Nemechek will be driving the 38 car, and will be part of the 2020 rookie class. Ryan Preece, just number switch, which I don't get, but he's going to be driving the 37. car for JTG Doherty, Chevy team. So, and he'll be teammates with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who's going to be in the 40, is it 47? Yeah, 47, and Priest will be in the 37. So, I talked about Reddick, back-to-back NASCAR Xfinity Series champion with two different teams, both Chevy teams, I may add, Chevy Power in the Xfinity Series. So, he was with Junior Motorsports and RCR. Both have kick-ass Xfinity programs. Props to him. He'll be part of the rookie class with Bell, Custer, Nemechek, and all that fun stuff. So, talk about Ricky. I don't want to get into Suarez because he sucks, and people were just using excuses about equipment being crappy and this and that, and how the people would just give him a chance and whatnot. And I'm like, we gave him chances. I gave him a chance, but he failed miserably with two top tier teams. Every 2017, 18, and 19 failed to make the playoffs, and two top championship winning teams, JGR and Stewart Haas Racing. He was thrown into JGR because Edwards leaving, so he was never consistent with his finishes at all. Never. So he sucks. He's a bust in my book. So if you don't like it, I don't care. That's my opinion. Facts and stats say it. He's not good. So Tift, I mentioned this before. He was in the 36 for Front Row Motorsports. Yeah, he was sidelined for the last 4 races of 2019 season, which John Hardinchuk filled in those last 4 races, and he's now just focusing on his health for the time being. Justin Alexander, crew chiefs. I want to get into crew chiefs now. So, Justin Alexander, crew chief for the 21 RCR Xfinity team. New gig is with the Cup Series team of the 3 car of Austin Dillon for RCR. So, he should do a good job. I have all the faith faith in him. So, good luck to you, Justin Alexander. You and Austin Dillon should have a pretty damn good year, or better year than last year. So, until we can make it to the playoffs this year. I like Austin Dillon, so don't hate me. Jerry Baxter, not know much about him. He's a crew chief for the 24 GMS Racing in the Truck Series. Will now be the crew chief for the number 43 Cup Series team, Richard Petty Motorsports, for Bubba Wallace. Don't know how much difference it's going to make because the 43 sucks every week, and we'll just see how that goes. Let's see. Bug. Let's see. A big topic of discussion I wanted to get to was Penske. Team Penske. This has been like the topic of discussion on social media since the news came out about crew chief changes. Jeremy Bullins, previously crew chief to the 12 car of Ryan Blaney. I feel like they did rather well together. Weren't consistent, but they were consistent enough to make it to the round of 8 this year. Well, this past season, he finished 7th in the standings this past season, which is, I think, one of his better finishes in the point standings. He'll now be the crew chief for the 2 team, for Brad Keselowski's team. He has 3 wins with Ryan Blaney. The last few seasons. Yep, see, I was right. So Blaney were coming off their best finish in the standings together. 7th and yep, I was right. Haha. Randall Burnett, crew chief for the 2. In the Xfinity Series will now be the crew chief for the 8 RCR Cup Series team. So basically moving with Tyler Reddick over to the Cup Series side. More on Penske. Todd Gordon, the previous crew chief for Cup champion, 2018 Cup champion, Joey Logano, 22, is now going to be Ryan Blaney's new crew chief, which should be interesting, and I feel like would be a nice pairing because Ryan Blaney needs some consistency in his life with his finishes and winning more than 1 race a season in the last 3 years. So, because Blaney has the potential to be like such a super good driver. Like all these young drivers like Chase and like all these other young drivers have potential to be something good in the series and be like superstars. Because they're both part of like amazing teams. They just need the consistency, which Blaney did not have the last 2 seasons in the 12 car. So, hopefully, says Gordon's chief task will be to get Blaney to perform as consistently as he got Logano to. That's basically what I just said. Like he got Logano to a championship, and I feel like he can lead Blaney to some consistency. I don't know about a championship just yet, but some just consistency, getting like some wins under his belt, more than 1. So I was right about that. So Johnny Klausmeier, was the crew chief for the 10. So Eric Almirola will now be with the 14 car in the same stable for Clint Boyer. Luke Lambert was the crew chief for the 8 in the Cup Series. Well, now crew chief for the 17. Roush Fenway Ford for Ryan Preece? No. Chris Buescher. I don't even remember now. No, Chris Buescher. I keep getting all these guys mixed up because there's so many damn changes that I can't keep up with. So he'll be with Chris Buescher. It's right in front of my face. Brian Patty was crew chief for the 17. Will now be crew chief for the 47 with Ricky Stenhouse. So they basically moved together from the 17 to the 47. So they're just staying the same, just different number and different team and different manufacturer. So, Jason Ratcliffe, okay, we're on the crew chief thing still. Was with Christopher Bell in the Xfinity Series as a crew chief. Oh, another pairing that's just moving series. These two are just moving up together, so no big huge change there. So Mike Shiplett, if that's how you say it, was crew chief for the 00 in the Xfinity Series and will now move. So some of these pairings are just moving together, like these pairings are just moving together up to a series or just moving teams. So the driver pairing and crew chief pairing doesn't really change in some of these. They're just moving to a different team or number or whatever. So this pairing is just not any different. Um, James Small. Apparently, he was the lead engineer for 19 Truex. Um, for Truex, um, he'll now be the crew chief for Joe Gibbs Racing, number 19 Truex. Since Cole Pearn basically went peace, bye. Um, Ryan Sparks, I don't know who this is, an engineer for the 3 car, will now be the crew chief for number 32. So for Corey LaJoy, should be fun. Paul Wolf, more on Penske. Paul Wolf will be moving to the 22 team of Logano. So this should. I feel like Brad got the short end of the stick because Jeremy Bowens, whatever his name is, has not been the greatest, but he's not bad either. People are like, he's terrible. And I'm like, he's not terrible. Okay, he's not terrible. He's won races. He's not terrible. So, but the mix, here's how it goes. So Brad gets Blaney's previous crew chief. Blaney gets Logano's old crew chief. And Logano gets Brad's old crew chief. If that's not confusing enough as it is, I don't know what is. But there we go. The Camaro. Okay, we're going on to the Camaro now. These are just all the changes that we've had so far going into the 2020 season. So Chevrolet will switch to the Camaro ZL 1LE in the Sports Top Series in 2020, replacing Camaro ZL1. The new Camaro will make its competition debut this February at the Daytona Speed Weeks. Chevrolet engineers have optimized aerodynamic performance by employing an array of tools, including blah 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 CFD, simulation, and reduced scale and full-scale wind tunnel testing. So I expect it to be. I saw Chase's paint scheme for this coming season. It's not new. It's not really anything different. It's just the design of the car, the formation of the car, the nose, instead of the hood sitting back here, it's more sitting up here, so it's less like this. It's just the hood's like this. Shut that dog up, please. Anyway, but it should make, I don't know, drafting a little bit easier on the super speedways and whatnot, the bigger tracks, whatever. But oh yeah, here's another big one. Go Fast Racing, which has Corey LaJoy as one of their drivers, is an technical alliance with Stewart-Haas Racing, Ford. So that's going to be big for that team. Okay, on to the Xfinity Series. Okay, Xfinity Series time. One of my favorite young drivers that's come up through the series, and I've watched grow as a driver. Some people don't agree with this because it's he has the last name. He's just moving up because of his dad and this and that and whatever. But Harrison Burton, I adore this kid. He is one of the hardest working kids I know. I know he hasn't won in the Truck Series. I don't really give a crap. Truck Series is not that important when it comes to making it up to the top series in NASCAR. Jimmy Johnson, he didn't do any Truck Series racing. He did Xfinity and then moved up to Cup. That's it, basically. So the Truck Series, yes, it's fun and exciting, but I don't think it's extremely important to be a requirement to win in the Truck Series to make it to the Xfinity Series. He was consistent. He did a fairly good job. He didn't make the playoffs, but I'm not going to get into it. So he was driving an 18 truck in the Truck Series for KBM. And of course, my thoughts on Kyle Busch as a team owner, he's not very good at it when it comes to like supporting his drivers. Like, I don't know, it's just I can't stand him. But oh, Burton is going to be moving up to the Xfinity Series. Driving the 20, which was previously driven by Christopher Bell. So I have high hopes for Burton. He made some Xfinity starts. He did rather well. He's just learning, growing as a driver. So he's 18 years old. I think he's 18 years old. He's fairly young. Let's just say that. But he's going to contend for Rookie of the Year. So I expect a lot out of him. And hopefully he performs well, gets in the playoffs, shakes things up a little bit. I'm not going to talk about Ross Chastain because I can't stand him, or Daniel Hemrick because he dropped down. He went from the Cup Series back down to Xfinity Series in one season. And I'm not going to get into Ross Chastain because he's just so overhyped. He's an overly aggressive driver that I do not like at all. It got to the point where I'm like, okay, enough already. Okay, Riley Herbst. People were bitching, complaining about Riley Herbst too. All these like Toyota drivers, people just want to bitch and complain about. All the young drivers, I should say. He had part-time rides in the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, drove in the K&N Pro Series East and ARCA Menard Series. Fairly successful in pretty much the K&N Series because in ARCA he's pretty good in both those series. Now he'll be driving the 18 in the Xfinity Series full time. So thank God. He'll be teammates with Brandon Jones, who'll be driving the 19 car for Joe Gibbs, along with Burton. These three, I think, are incredible young talents who can shake things up in the Cup Series one day. One day, I'm not saying like anytime soon, but one day. So, I don't know who that is. Jesse Little. I don't know who Jesse Little is, but Jesse Little, part-time in the 97 last year, will now be in JD Motorsports for the Xfinity Series. So, I don't know. Oh, the Truck Series. Okay, Truck Series. DGR Crosley merged from Toyota to Ford. And we all know, like, with the Haley Deegan thing, like, development driver. So she's on board with DGR Crosley, which, and, like, they have a Truck Series program, ARCA program. So their truck program is actually pretty good. Besides Miss Rex-a-Lot Decker is in one of those trucks, but only one of those trucks is actually like won a race and was in the playoffs. And so but that was a big move on their part. This is what I don't get, like, why teams keep shifting to Toyota. I don't understand. Tyler Ankrum. Okay, here we go. More on DGR Crosley. He was in the 17 truck, but now he's going over to GMS Racing in the Truck Series, since GMS doesn't have an Xfinity program anymore, but they're still in the Truck Series. So he's kind of, I think, moving up a level. He'll be driving the 26. So good luck to him. Christian Eckes. Here's another young driver that I'm excited about. He has run in the ARCA series, and he was pretty successful in that. Because he was the 2019 ARCA champion. So, and he'll be driving the number 18 truck for KBM in the Truck Series this coming season. So I'm expecting a lot from this kid. Tanner Gray. I'm excited about this guy. He came from Pro Stock NHRA. He's a champion, and he moved over to Stock Car just recently. I think this past season. He was with DGR Crosley in the 15 truck, and ran in the NASCAR K&M Pro Series East, and so he'll be looks like full time in the number 15 for DGR Crosley this coming season. So good luck to him. That's pretty awesome. I don't know who that is. Ty Majeski. I don't know much about this guy. I guess he'll be taking over Ross Chastain's old ride of the 45 in the truck series. Brett Moffitt just basically switching numbers, which doesn't make any sense. He'll be from going into 23. He was previously in the 24 and GMS Racing in the truck series champion. He's been a champion. So, where's that? Zane freaking Smith. Okay. This kid is insanely talented. He's underrated. No one really talks about him very much. He did part-time Xfinity in with JRM Motorsports, Junior Motorsports. I don't know why I said JRM Junior Motorsports in the 8 car last season, where a handful of drivers were in and out of that car. And he seemed to have made an impression because he actually ran pretty well. He got some top 5s, top 10s, and while he was running. So it landed him a full-time truck series ride with GMS Racing in the 21 truck. So that's exciting. I'm excited for this kid. So there's a lot of great, I think, incredible young talent coming through the sport that we need to focus on and not complain about so much. And just give them a damn chance. Like, getting sick of the racing's not how it used to be and blah 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 and this and that. It may not have be what it used to be, but every sport changes. Either it's for the better or not. I think racing has been so much better the last decade that I don't understand why people think the 80s, 90s, or the way back, when you would only have a few cars on the lead lap and all these long green runs, and I'm like, I can't do it. No. Nothing is exciting about that. What was exciting about having little to no competition and just having people get lapped several times in one race? We have more competition now than ever before. We have so many good drivers that's so hard to win. It's crazy how insanely good all these drivers are. Whether in their top-notch equipment or not, they somehow make it work to win races or just get solid finishes and make a name for themselves. So, I'm super excited about this 2020 season because the schedule is all jumbled up, and so we have Phoenix as a championship race. So I have to get my butt on that, get my seats, get my tickets for the spring race. I want to go to another track this year. I'm not entirely sure which one. I think I want to go to Texas. I'll get that figured out. Hopefully I have the finances for that. I'm just starting a new job on Saturday, but early Saturday morning, midnight wise. I'll have my orientation, so I'll be saving some money for some traveling for NASCAR races, because I've already been to the West Coast swing tracks. I want to go do something different. I want to go to Texas. I want to go to Kentucky. I want to go to Atlanta. I want to go to every single track on the damn circuit, cup-wise. And then eventually get to the tracks that Cup doesn't go to, Iowa and all Mid Ohio and all these other tracks. Like, I want to go to all of them except Canada. I don't want to go to Canada. So, but I'm excited for this coming season. There's so many changes, like with crew chiefs, drivers, and whatnot, sponsors. One thing I noticed on Chase's car, like, well, the first thing I noticed was when he showed his helmets for like each sponsor. Universe, whatever you want to call it, is now a sponsor on Chase's car, which usually was, I think, is either is still on board with the 24 or has just jumped over to the 9 car. I'm not entirely sure, but Chase has Mountain Dew, Napa, of course, his primary sponsor. Like Mountain Dew, Napa, Hooters, now Universe, Little Caesars, Valvoline, whatever. Those are all his like sponsors on his car. But the major ones like Mountain Dew, Hooters, Napa, and now Universe. So that should be fun. I'm just wanting to see all these paint schemes. I'm ready. I'm so ready. I miss NASCAR. Ugh. So. It's been a day. I got a lot done though. First off, I got my nails done again. Black as my heart and my soul right now. It's my favorite color for the time. Like, one of my favorite colors. My top color is blue. But I got my truck cleaned today, inside and out. Feeling good about the new year. Got a new job. Cleaned my car. Filled up with gas today for a lot less than I was expecting. Like, it was almost empty, and it only took under $50 to fill up my truck. So I'm like, perfection. Savings at the gas pump is all I ask for. Because I get points from and they add up, and I get like 10 cents off or 20, whatever. So I use my 10 cents off, and because gas ain't cheap right now. It's close to it's pretty much like $3 out here, which I don't understand why right now. Usually Arizona's pretty cheap, but it's not right now. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, my day. Took my nephew to school, cleaned my truck, picked him up, went to get my nails done, and I went to the gym. Walked about 3.5 miles. Feel good about that. Got my good sweat session on. So I gotta get my stamina up and strength up, because I'll be moving some packages. I'm moving a lot, so this morning I did not feel great at all. I was just I did not feel good at all. So, and this stupid little dog is annoying me. But okay. I'm a little nervous about going into this new job. I don't know what to expect. It's a further drive than I would like, but it's really not that bad of a drive. It's only about 20-30 minutes depending on traffic, but the time I go in, which is midnight, there'd be literally no traffic, and when I get off, all the traffic would be going the other direction, because everyone would be going to work, and I'd be leaving work by like 4 or 5 in the morning. So I'll be going home, go to the gym, whatever, go home, sleep, and whatever. So I'm excited to start work. I don't like not working this whole month. It's been exactly a month since I've not really worked, so I'm excited, nervous, but I feel like it's a new challenge for me. So I'm not new to like the fast pace of everything. It's just a new form of fast pace and busyness than I was at Dollar Tree. So I really haven't been back to that store since I left, but one of these days when I get back in the right mindset, I'll go back in there and visit some people and whatnot. So, because I haven't really talked to anybody since I left. But so it's 8:30. It feels like it's midnight right now. I don't know why. Ugh. I need to drink some water because I feel bloated. I know it's TMI, but ladies, you know. That time of the month. And I can always tell because my face has been breaking out around here so bad. So bad. So, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner. I don't know yet. I never know what to eat for dinner, so I'll just drink some water for now. So, I'm just talking to myself at this point, but I need to color my hair soon. But I'll do that when I actually have a little bit of money in my pocket to get things done. My first goal is pay off my credit card, pay my mother, and get my tickets for March, put my payments in for the 2020 championship race, which I need to be there for because it's going to be Jimmy Johnson's final race at Phoenix. It's going to be so sad. I have to meet him this year. It has to happen. So, whether I do or not, I'm going to make it a firm goal of mine to meet Jimmy. Sorry, Chase, but I've met you a few times. I need to meet Jimmy. I need to meet Bowman. I need to get an updated picture with Byron. So, there's that. Anyway. Oh yeah, for the spring race out here, we get the ARCA Menards race, like ARCA Menards series race out here. So I get to watch my girl Haley race again, like I did back in November when she was running K&N. So it was awesome. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. So anyway, I'm going to go figure out something to eat. I'm really not that hungry, honestly. Get some water and just chill. Get out of these workout clothes because I've been sitting in them for the last couple hours. Just talking to you guys. So I'm going to get off. Have a good night. Weekend now, whatever. And be safe. Be nice to each other, please. Because there's a lot of hatred right now on the internet. So please be nice to each other.